Hi everybody, Jodie Thornton, parent coach here. I wanted to talk today about the most common question I get asked when I talk about tantrums, which is at what age is my kid gonna grow out of this? So sometimes it's a matter of how long do I have to wait until this phase is passed, and for other times it's like, at what point should I be expecting my child to be able to handle more? At what point should I be able to require that my kid deals with the day-to-day, just ordinary inconveniences without having a massive tantrum? And for both of those questions, I have some news for you, which is not easy to say, is that people don't necessarily grow out of tantrums. So you might notice, if you think about everybody that you might notice that there are adults that that still have tantrums. And some of them will be similar to kids' tantrums where they're yelling and carrying on. Some of them will be tantrums that look like the silent treatment, or that look like just shutting down from conversation, or having a real rant. Or even for ourselves, we might notice that when we've had a really bad day, it's just like we just need that energy to get off of us, and we just have a real explosive raw kind of experience. That is all the same thing as a tantrum. And when we look at, you can see teenagers who might punch holes in walls. We see tweens that might, even I've seen tweens that will have the same kind of tantrum that a 3-year-old might have. This is because it's the same emotional overwhelm that happens no matter what age we are. And the difference is knowing the skills to be able to, and for us as parents to help our kids, but also the skills for our kids to be able to understand their own emotions and move through them in a constructive way, rather than get overwhelmed and then move into tantrum space. So a couple of things to note is that if you don't have the space or the energy or the emotional capacity to make changes to how you handle your kids' tantrums, or how you help them to develop their emotional awareness, then that's okay. There's no deadline for your kids to learn these skills. It's just something that's helpful for them to know. So it is once you do it, life becomes a lot easier. And also it's so nice to see how your child has become a lot more empowered in their own emotions and their relationships with others. So no doubt, absolutely, it's a wonderful thing to do, and I am always here if you're ready to jump. But it's also important to note that if there's a reason why you don't have the capacity to do that right now, there's no deadline. You can wait. And particularly I get this question at this time of year. We're in February, and in Australia, school goes back at the end of January or the beginning of February. A lot of parents can be worried about how their child is handling the adjustment. And so for most parents, I will say, you don't have to panic that now it's too early to know that there's going to be a bigger problem. And for most kids, it will just settle down as time goes by. So same deal is that if you have the space, the emotional capacity, you're ready to learn, you want to do something different, by all means, there's a bunch of resources that I have that I can help you with, and there's some coaching that I can do to help you to really be able to upskill your kids and make life a bit more enjoyable and easy for everybody. But if you're stuck right now and that's just an option for whatever reason, for most kids, things will calm down in the next few weeks to maybe 2 months, depending on how the adjustment is going. And also just noticing that we can have an unfortunate set of kind of circumstances if you're having a run on things. So if your kid is going back to having difficulties with the back to school adjustment in February, and then they have a half birthday, say in April, you might have a run of different things compounding to make their tantrums last longer, but it will calm of its own accord. You'll go through, if you do no changes to the way you handle your kids, it will go up and down. You will have times where things are hard, and you'll have times where things are easy, and they can learn these skills at another time. On the other hand, if you are ready and you really want to make a change, you want to empower them, and it's now is a time that's right for you, definitely reach out and we can talk about how to help you to upskill your children so that they can move through their tantrums and respond to their emotions constructively. Thanks so much for listening.